Good morning. Welcome to Holy Trinity Church in Juneau, Alaska. My name is Gordon Blue. Welcome to today's sermon, which is intended to accompany our Sunday morning prayer service. Today is the fourth Sunday of the Epiphany season. We're celebrating a week without football by holding a virtual church and our annual meeting on Zoom. And it's a celebration. I'm so grateful to be able to do this. Although we have not been able to gather in person, we have learned some amazing ways to participate in community despite the necessity for physical separation. We have only been able to do this because we've worked together, learned together, and supported one another, financially, technologically, with mental exertion, and with physical exertion too. I'm very grateful for this church. It's an ark. It's a vessel filled with the Spirit in which we all share. It has withstood the storms of 125 years so far, and it's been rebuilt physically, and it's been maintained in top condition. Thank you to Doug and his crew, and to Jim Herr, for their great work on the building. We have a new elevator, and we've got a new coat of stain on the outside. And we have some newly fastened tile in the narthex and the nave, and some new paint in the conference room, and some new chair rails, and a bunch of other projects, some shelves. All of these things were done this year. And thank you also to Todd and William for keeping it all clean and sanitary. Thank you to everyone on the worship team, especially Lena and Bruce and Allison, for the musicians, Kim and Laurie and Hannah and Luke, for the cantors, Lena and Patricia and Bruce and John and all the others who, with the whole worship team, every day, 6 days a week at noon, and twice on Sunday and 3 times on Thursday, they all show up, and they keep up with the rolls and the tosses and the sudden lurches of this gale-filled year in our ark. Thank you, Allison and Kevin, and to our vestry, Senior Warden Patricia, Junior Warden Jeffrey, Clerk Debbie, Chaplain Marianne, and Treasurer, especially our Treasurer Kevin, for making sure that the lights are on and the bills paid and the church policies keep pace with events, and it all keeps us safe. Thank you, everyone, for your prayers and for continuing in all the ministries we've maintained and adapted through the changes and chances of this year, so that we can experience these days of sunshine and joy, and that this community of love persists. Truly, you have changed the world and helped it to be a better place. And for all of this, I am so grateful. Of course, the source of goodness, the root of gratitude, is the Creator and Savior and Sustainer of life, the Holy One in Three, our God and reason for being. God will see us through this time and will lead us with purpose and kindness and love to the next. Part of that purpose is in helping to bring the hope of the gospel to others. And today, we have a perfect gospel story to remind and strengthen us in that purpose and meaning. It is perfect in its simplicity and rightness, and in its fitness for our situation. Today, we read a gospel story about Jesus healing a disease that has become pandemic, along with the pandemic caused by the viral pathogen coronavirus 19. This pandemic is a form of mental illness that is sweeping the world with despair and hopelessness and distrust. It is a spiritual disorder that is transmitted through our memes. A meme is a complex unit of emotion and vision and thought, and it's most compelling when it incorporates an element of dissonance in its messaging. The memes most affected by the current pandemic virus degrading mental health seems to be operating in the limbic system. And it's for basic strategies for survival. So that meme is meeting the fear which has been stirred up by one of the 4 strategies of survival: fight, flight, freeze, or appease. It's very difficult to find one's way through sudden uncertainty and constant fear signals. What serves best may well be some of the simplest things that we know. Jesus provides a good example of this in the story that we heard today. It's made a little simpler to see with just a bit of translation. In the gospel story, Jesus goes to church with his message of love. This is right in the first chapter of Mark. And he's confronted there by a man who is disturbed by a meme of compelling and fearful nature. We know this because the man has a conversation with Jesus that does not seem to come from a human place at all. Rather, it comes out of his fears. "What have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." Jesus recognizes the problem at once and rebukes him. "Be silent and come out of him." Now, Jesus doesn't argue with the presenting meme because that possesses the man rather than otherwise. The man is submerged below fear and his limbic signaling, and he doesn't know whether to fight or to flee. He's already left behind the freeze or appease response, and he is in motion. Jesus recognizes that argument will only be met by additional fear-driven memes and quite likely escalate rapidly. In today's terms, there's a whole galaxy of bots and an army of trolls standing in the pews, and they are coming to alert. Jesus does not freeze or appease, nor fight or flee. He comes at the problem with his resurrection strategies: love, life, and forgiveness, with tools brought from the Neocortex. Noticing that the cognitive functioning of the man is impaired, mindful of the fear and distress of the other, he slips past the implied threat, offering a meme of de-escalation, which might be translated like this: "I see that you're not yourself, and you're upset. Collect yourself. Let go of that fear." Of course, this is offered in terms that are not those of our time, but are words understood and accepted by everyone present there. And the unclean spirit, convulsing him and crying out in a loud voice, came out of him. And they were all amazed, and they kept on asking each other, "What is this?" It's a new teaching with authority. The lesson for today is this: when confronted by a meme of aggression, a slew of bots, and an army of trolls, do not escalate with argument, not even if you know all the pertinent facts that render the meme false. That can come later in a more serene context. Recognition of the problem, noticing, mindfulness is key to unlocking resurrection strategy. Recognizing that another is in the grip of fear and is operating from a place of limbic response, Jesus offers the man a way out and helps him to release the meme and collect himself. He introduces a break in the flow of adrenaline and provides an opportunity for another course. All of the arguments in the internet will not derail the limbic response. Force, violent confrontation, shaming, overwhelming noise, or dominance, these will not either. They can only hope to drive the response into another mode, perhaps to freeze a foe or bring about appeasement. And they will be remembered later, and they will take up residence in resentment. They will create a multiplication of demons. The thing is, the neocortex can begin to operate with a few words that we might have heard from Mom. Settle down and stop yelling. No name calling. Keep your hands off. Give some space. Back off a little. Let them have space. Let them have air to breathe. Show some respect for others. Wear your mask. Well, in Jesus' time, masks were no big thing. But they did have some discussions about washed hands.